She will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. He will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. He will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, La, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, La, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. She won't. She will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, La, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, La, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. She won't. She will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. She won't. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, will come, mama. She will come, she will come, she will come. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala, Lily, Lily, Low. Hey, Walla, Tala, Lily, Walla, Lily, Low. Hey, Wiley, Tala.
Yarate Arodais Nostagi Hodoye Nikananda Dr. Buu Nygren Hodo Yate Nan Kedin Needle Jono Don Hastkin Haroshi Haroshi Dice Nostagi she so Jono Ketsoho Ando or Aso Etso Kehan Kedin Needle Hodoye the Nebanant Dr. Buu Nygren Tachi in Sendo not so Basishin do Todichi leadership or not so additional Hotoe Denenshin, Hotoe not Ani, Hanshedo, the Sinashinigi, the First Lady Jasmine Blackwater Nygren. Hodoye, Hojanahu Jisho, Dean Jigone, the initial Asag or Kisala Hodo, Ben Kisnashne, Saida Shodo, non, Le le peshet khase de yo bohonet no are de yan stil da no ara shisla da is no tsa she khodo ni na sos bi to shinjo no belagana ketche do ne ketche jo belagana ketche ya jo tio hinjo no at shin lo lo hot en ne ketche ya just tio hinjo no ba hojis no de an ne hisle so she hot odo kehen hedini do le aro khada kisigi and then start off with horoit sebogan hot zando yado and then get shleto ado Saturday is September 16 is Working Parents Day. They see there's a lot of Navajo Nation employees, a lot of parents who are working every single day. Na nishbikate khada do kato and to sit do sashinga dan zad na don ka wait on ki yeju da shibita hasande. Hot end na nishbikate khada do kahage is kan behenni Working Parents Day is kan September or Saturday, September 16. I know there's a lot of Navajo Nation out there that do what they can to make sure they can provide for their families and their extended relatives. Thank you. I know that's on Saturday. Local announcements. This morning I signed a proclamation as of today, September 14, as a day of mourning for our late Honorable Governor Bill Richardson. I know, as I mentioned last week, he's been a lifelong champion for us Navajo people since 1982 when he ran for congressional office and then serving as our congressional delegation from 82 to 96, U.S. ambassador from 97 to 98, and U.S. Energy Secretary from 98 to 2000 for President Bill Clinton. But his continuous effort and work to help fight and advocate for the Navajo people will always be remembered. So today, all the flags and everything across the Navajo Nation are half-staffed. So again, a hat to him and his family for willingness to fight and advocate on behalf of the Navajo people. Thank you to Governor Richardson and his family. Also, some other news out there is Vice President Kamala Harris will be visiting NAU this fall. I don't know the exact date, but she'll be out in NAU this coming fall. I know this past year, NAU has set some tremendous records on the amount of Indigenous people that work over there. So again, thank you to NAU and your dedication to our Native American students. And if you want to see our Vice President of the United States, she'll be at NAU sometimes this fall. If I get the tour is called Fight for Our Freedoms College Tour. So if you're interested, and again, once we know a date, we'll let you know. And then also some news out there is I know in the Division of Behavioral and Mental Health Services is really trying to do seminars. Alberta Curley is trying to do some seminars on understanding stress to embrace the beauty of life. Because sometimes it can be work stress, financial stress, health stress, and many other stresses. If you've got time to join a Zoom call, reach out to 928-871-6692 or Vera Hyatt at navajo-nsn.gov. Main thing is to control your stress so you can enjoy your day, enjoy your life, and be healthy in a good way. So again, continue to be self-aware of some of the stresses that come your way. One of the things I like to do, and that's one of the reasons why I started the President Nygren Challenge, was to be able to at least go outside, 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, a plank, and a 1 mile walk or run. I feel like that's what really keeps my mind fresh, keeps my body going, so I can make the best decisions possible for all of you. So again, keep it simple. But if you want to join that stress Zoom class, there it's going to be right there. Missing Navajo people. I know this one's it's tough every time I talk about when I get to this section in our announcements. We have 12-year-old Hudson DeLargo, last seen September 2nd, 2023. If you've seen her, if you've seen him, he was wearing a turquoise polo shirt, black sweatpants. Call Crown Point Police 505-786-2050. You also have 17-year-old Delilah Woody, last seen September 3rd in Tuba City. Please call Tuba City Police 928-283-3111. 46-year-old Yolanda Mae Mertel. She was last seen March 23. If you know of her whereabouts, call Sherbrooke Police 505-386-1350. 42-year-old Amanda Brian Dalton was last seen August 8th in Phoenix. If you have any information, call Chinle Police 928-674-2111. We also have 42-year-old Daryl Key last seen September 1st. He's 5'7". If you know of his whereabouts, Delcom Police 928-657-8075. And then moving on to this time in history. I think this time in history is always interesting as my team does their research. But 62 years ago, NTUA puts up their telephone lines. And it all started from Hard Rock, Arizona, and all the way to Keams Canyon, and then from Keams Canyon over to Winter Rock. I know that it's hard to imagine even phone lines going up at that time, because now we use a lot of cellular towers. I don't even know if they still run a lot of telephone lines, but we know we're big into broadband and towers going up and the latest technology. But 62 years ago, NTUA telephone lines went up. Then on to number 5, which is life lessons. Making better choices makes a better life. Choose wisely. And I think that's one of the key things by Tony Robbins is there's so many decisions in a day that come before you. So you got to be very picky on the decisions that you make. Make sure they're good decisions that will help you, help elevate you, help you move in the right direction. So you don't need to make every decision. Sometimes if you make too many decisions, it might take you down the wrong path. So be very careful, be very strategic when you make decisions. In Navajo, they always say, you know what I mean? You got to really think about it. Make sure you continue to evaluate the options and move forward in that way. So again, so that's kind of the life lesson. And then get into the meat and the potatoes, the week's accomplishments. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all my team, the executive branch, and the close relationship they have with the Navajo Nation Council and everything that we accomplish on your behalf. And this is the part that I always try to tell my people and everybody that's reporting to me directly is let's make sure we're always thinking about what do we get done this week? What are we going to do next week? What major projects are we working on? So we can continue to update our people. And this week, I was actually in Phoenix, Arizona on Monday. I signed a sub-grant recipient agreement for $55 million to assist our Navajo homeowners, whether you live in Phoenix, Albuquerque, Denver, Gallup, Farmington, wherever you might own a home. There's a rental assistance that was brought through by the American Rescue Plan Act Fund. Nationwide, it was about $9.9 billion. But the Navajo Nation got a grant for $55 million. So Native Community Capital out of Phoenix is managing it for us. So one of the things I want to make sure that you all know is continue to look at some of these avenues, because there's 4 areas that you can, for example, you're probably wondering, do I make too much money? Is it income based? So for example, if you live in Phoenix, and you have a single household, I think it's $90,000. But if you got 4 kids, you can have an income of up to $132,000 to be able to qualify. Again, this is just for our Navajo people who own homes, who have a mortgage. And so there's a mortgage payment assistance up to $72,000, mortgage reinstatement assistance up to $50,000. Mortgage principal reduction assistance up to $100,000, home repair assistance loan up to $100,000, clear title assistance up to $30,000. So the goal is, as I mentioned down in the Phoenix area, was I know we have a 3-year window to try to get this done, but let's try to get it done in 1 year. Applications take a while. And so if you own a home, please reach out to Native Community Capital, Dave Castillo and Todd Francis. So again, the deadline is it's going to end in 3 years, but it's better to apply right away. There's only $55 million. There's a potential to help up to 900 Navajo family homeowners. So take full advantage of it if you're a Navajo and you own a home, and really look into those resources. Also, there was a significant settlement for Navajo voting rights in the San Juan County, New Mexico area. There's 2 districts, District 1 and District 2, and they tried to lump in all the Navajos in the same district. But I know that was very unfair because Navajos do exist in both districts, and that's how they tried to redraw the districts. But many kudos to Attorney General Ethel Branch and her team in Department of Justice. And I'm glad that she's working very hard, because those are one of the main initiatives that I talked to her about upon selecting her, was that I really want to make sure that we protect our voting rights, because that's the best way that we can get attention, not only at the state level, but at the federal level. So we want to make sure that we continue to protect that in all the states that the Navajo Nation exists in. So again, many kudos to the Department of Justice for your hard work. Thank you to all the attorneys that work in the Department of Justice. And also another win is Navajo Police Training Academy kicks off a new group, Training Academy class number 59, started September 11. There's 13 new recruits, and our hope is that all 13 do go through the 26-week training, and they all graduate as certified police officers. And that's one of the initiatives I made with Director Anderson. Is there's a really strong need to really embrace and elevate the need and the prestige about being a Navajo police officer. So again, many kudos for Public Safety, Navajo Nation Police Department. Thank you for your constant, every single day, doing what you can, helping our people. And looking forward to visiting the training academy. And I remember I ran with some of those recruits during the fair for the President Nygren's Fitness Challenge. So they were the ones in the yellow. Also, a major project we're working on too is Navajo TV and film looks for expansion. I know that some of you are very happy that I do announce on the radio all the time, but one of the things I really am challenging our Navajo Nation film, TV and film department is, how can we expand on more Navajo cartoons, more Navajo shows, more towers, to get our language out into our communities, because I know that I want to see our young ones be able to hear our language, see our language, and how beautiful it is. So, and I believe that we can get that done through Navajo Nation Film and TV. Again, I just want to say thank you to their department. They're the ones that produced the Labor Day message that we worked on. They're actually centered under Division of Human Resources, under Debbie Inez Manuel's division as well. So I'm very happy that they're doing what we can to help us out. And I know they help with broadcasting, I believe, Miss Navajo and a few other events that they work on. So again, many kudos to the Navajo Nation Film and Office. And then training, Department of Human Resources, training opportunities for staff, because I know that's one of the focuses that I have, is to really try to help our Navajo employees do staff development training, whether it's ASC, whether it's being a chapter manager, whether it's any other avenues that they're working on, so that we can continue to make sure that they have the best training system. So I've tasked Division of Human Resources to develop a strong learning management system, so that our employees, once they're on board, that they can take the courses for human resources, 401k, retirement, and what does our government look like, what is executive, legislative, judicial, and really have people get the same quality of training through standardization. So that's one of the things that they're working on. And that's very key on my part, is really empowering our staff to be better equipped and know the overall picture, and specifically their duties of the job. And also, we're working on grant management training. So we're trying to team up with Diné College, with the Division of Social Services, to really educate and train our Navajo people to be better grant managers, grant writers, and grant executors, because there's so much grant opportunity out there that we can really help and move our nation forward. So I'm looking forward to investing in grant management, so that we can, there's all these dollars that are out there, that let's bring them in and really utilize them here on Navajo, and deploy programs that can help our people and develop certain skill sets. So on to meet and greets. Friday, well, Senator Cinema, last Friday, she came out right before the parade. We met with about IHS, and I wanted to thank her about her continuous efforts to support the SDS system on Navajo and fully funding that. And also the main thing I brought her out to is to look at the Gallup water supply line. If you're coming in from Gallup to Window Rock, there's that pipeline that just stops right at New Mexico. It's because there's 6,411 acres of water that's going to hit that once the water line is done. So I did ask her for her support. There's actually amendments in Congress to fully fund the Gallup water supply. Right now it's funded at about 50%. And when the project's completely done, it's about $2 billion. So if we can get that fully funded, we ask her for her support. But in addition, there's some language that we're trying to put into it. That's where we really would like her support on trying to agree to bring that water across into Arizona while we're still negotiating and settling our water rights in Arizona, because that's a lot of water. There's a lot of families within the Window Rock area that don't have running water, all the way up into Sawmill, all the way up into the Summit area. There's so many people that don't have water, but there's opportunity because the water is just right there when it's fully functional, that we can bring water to our people right away. So that's my hope. I know that we're still in negotiations and talks and trying to get our water rights settled in Arizona with the support of Department of Justice and everything. Also, Navajo Nation Fair was Saturday, Sunday. I know we all seen each other, and we've probably all greeted one another, and we had a really good time. So again, thank you. And for those of you that I just waved at you, let's try to shake some hands in Shiprock Fair. During Shiprock Fair, that's going to be another big fair. So again, had a lot of fun. Rodeo. My voice is still a little excited because at the end of the song and dance event on Sunday, I believe it was on Sunday, right before the awards, all the groups came up and they wanted to sing a song, and I partook in it, and it was about well over an hour of singing with our groups. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to sing with each and every one of you, and made me feel good. Made me feel good to sing some really good Navajo songs with you all during the song and dance. So yeah. Also, Four Corners Power Plant meeting was on Monday down in Phoenix. So all the owners of Four Corners Power Plant were down there. APS, Intech, Tucson, P&M. They were down there talking about the successes of Four Corners Power Plant. And I know that there's some owners that have publicly stated that they're going to go towards alternative options. So really trying to talk about how can we continue to work together, because I know Four Corners Power Plant, Navajo Mine, brings in about $60 million into the Navajo Nation. So that's a lot of money into the general fund. So again, a lot of jobs, not only jobs, but revenues for our people. So really trying to figure out what's a good median to try to make sure that we continue to make money off of those efforts, because right now we're still trying to make up for the $40 million from NGS, and we haven't put a dent in that. So I'm looking forward to, we're still looking at economic opportunities. We're still pushing things, but I cannot imagine losing another $60 million and what kind of strain it would put on an Navajo Nation government and our people. So money is really what makes things operate, regardless if you live on the reservation or off the reservation. So again, looking forward to having those discussions into the future. Then Tuesday, met with Governor Hobbs out in Grand Canyon with the other 22 tribes that were represented. Really talks around tourism. How can more tribal representation be brought into the Arizona Tourism Department, and really try to showcase the Navajo Nation and other tribes. And one of the things I told them is that there's so many canyons, trails, and beauty like no other in the state of Arizona except on Navajo land. So let's continue to work together and partner together so we can showcase that. And then upcoming events, Saturday we've got the Western and Northern Agency council meetings. I know Vice President will be attending the Western Agency Council meeting, and I've got a few of my Deputy Chief of Staff joining over in the Northern Agency. Again, I really do appreciate the discussions that are happening there and the reports that I get back, but we really try to make sure that we get you the most up-to-date information. And then next week, there's going to be a TribalNet conference happening in California. So that's where all the tribes come together, talk about technology. And so I'll be there for about a day and a half, and I'll be back. But really, and then in the meantime, I'm going to meet with Chief Maureen Chapman, who's the chief of the Squalaloop First Nation since 1999, and she's a big advocate for self-governance and autonomy. So looking to have those discussions with our California tribes as well. Also, next Friday is going to be Judge Charlene Jackson, who was appointed by former Arizona State Governor Doug Ducey, and really trying to push some of those initiatives forward. So again, it's an honor. Thank you for tuning in every week, and I'm glad to report on the work that we're doing. And thank you for tuning in, not only on podcast, but thank you for turning on the radio, KTNN, KGAK, KNDN, NTU, and Diné College Radio. That's where I try to produce everything in Navajo. So on Facebook, I try to do a little combination of both English and Navajo. Thank you, and it's an honor to be your president, and I will see you out there. Hagone.
Good afternoon, Yat A. Adolfo. This is Rochelle Montoya, your Navajo Nation Vice President. Hashlishnin shlon katnisani e bashishin kintin idashe tachini idashanale. To kudo eya niketnada huilna hai eya bana alte hindi taga hotanadi. Ko last week eya Navajo Nation Fair bana aste. Njungo eya yanas kai. So thank you so much to the Navajo Nation Fair Board, to the Navajo Nation Fair Manager, and all of the committees and the event coordinators that helped with the Navajo Nation Fair this past year. 75th Annual Navajo Pearl Anniversary Go Eya Banas Day. We began the Navajo Nation Fair at the Miss Navajo Nation Butchering Competition on Monday, Labor Day. Eya ko bohane lingo eya bana aldela. Miss Navajo Nation nye date jehiki eya din da asa. Do at sitting day shkej do. They answered questions, and we had 2 young women from Western Agency that vied for the title, and we were so proud of them and the wonderful techniques that they brought to the butchering competition. Both of them finished within the 1 hour time limit that they had, which was wonderful to see, and wonderful to see their skills that they brought from their families to the Miss Navajo Nation butchering competition. There's different events that happened that day. They had the traditional food competition in the afternoon. They had the animal control department, fish and wildlife, that gaming area. They had the dog show that happened, which was really cute and wonderful to see and watch. And then just other events throughout the fair. Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, we had the Kids Day and the Elder Fest on the fairgrounds. That was when we saw a lot of little kiddos from different parts of the schools that were dress coordinated with each of the schools that were there. It was a really fun event that happened at the Navajo Nation Fair. And of course, Friday, we had more of the Miss Navajo Nation competition. And then we had other events that happened. We have a brand new storefront at the flea market area at the corner in Window Rock by the Alon gas station, which features Winston Paul. She's a very, very talented clothing designer. and she has now a store here in Window Rock, so you can go and check that out. Aro Saturday, a parade, Office of the President and Vice President. It was such a fun event. We had a lot of our division directors, our executive staff, and then each of us had some of our family members with us. I had my little brother, Santiago Montoya, and my sister-in-law, my granddaughter, my sister, Irvina, my nephew, David, my son, my daughter, and my son-in-law that were accompanying me on the parade that day. It's always such fun to have my family in town, so I really had fun on the parade route. And I got to see a lot of people on the parade route. It was really fun. It was good to see everybody. As you know, there's a lot of things that are happening on social media, and a lot of the times it's just pictures of the president and myself being at different events, shaking hands, taking pictures, signing autographs. But in between those moments that the president and I are out there, we're also listening. We have a lot of constituents that come up to us and talk to us about different issues that are happening within their communities. And we take all of that information in. For myself personally, I bring it back to the office. I start asking questions throughout our divisions, our departments, and see where some of these issues are being hung up at. And I do my best to find the solutions that our constituents need. And that's one of the things that I do when I'm out and about. I see on social media that a lot of people are telling me that all they see are pictures, and all that they see are just me and the president out there taking pictures. But in between those photos, we listen to our constituents that come up to us and ask questions and request certain things. So as you see the pictures, just know that in between those, there's conversations that are happening. And as for myself, I do my very best to stop and listen to everybody that comes up to me. And unfortunately, sometimes I'm on my way to a meeting, I'm on my way to something that is pressing. And so at times I do just say hello and I keep going, because I'm trying to be very respectful of my other people's time that I have already scheduled. I would love to stand there and sit down and have a conversation with everybody that comes my way. But so many months ago, we've had meetings that were already scheduled. We had time slots that were already filled. And for myself personally, I'm doing my best to be respectful of the times that I have set already. And so, the social media, I'm very happy, and I'm very thankful for social media, because my family is spread across the whole United States, and we have military people across the world. And my family and I, this is how we communicate. We find each other, we talk to one another, we laugh, we give updates. And so that's how I'm very appreciative of social media. But sometimes it can become a negative and toxic atmosphere. And I just hope that we can all be on a better page. We can be more positive to one another when it comes to observations and comments. And we all learn from that, and we all listen. But sometimes the disrespect can get to a certain point where it's not a good thing anymore. And I know, as a leader, as this person, Vice President of the Navajo Nation, that it's something that I should expect, and I do expect. But I'm just asking for a little bit more respect for myself, for the President of the Navajo Nation, for the council delegates, for the judicial branch employees, for our chapter officials, our school board members. We all put ourselves out there to be a leader in our communities. And we ask for support, and we ask for prayers and for positiveness. And I really do appreciate everybody else that's out there that does give those type, and we build towards that atmosphere for our Navajo Nation government. Without a decoro jogo e na hol to le go and so a bounces kishike. A co a stop in 19 chato le. Yego date ingo a co. A hine kato a hilta wheel neto. Njunigo a koro, Mihina hat na hat loro le, so a bounces case go a benina and hit the schnito 19 chak. some of the things that we've all continuously worked on is to work towards our facilities across Navajo Nation. That last time that I spoke with you and gave that report, I was out in Old Jato chapter in Western Agency, and I talked about the condition of the senior center there. And we're still working on how that facility can come back to where it needs to be comfortable for our senior citizens that are in that area, and also the rest of the citizens in that community that use that meeting facility for their meetings that they have there. And again, I also know that there are other facilities across Navajo Nation that are in those conditions also. And so, like I said, always come up to me, talk to me, Facebook message me. I'll do my best to communicate with you. And I appreciate everybody out there that does that reaches out and wants to have a conversation. And again, my assistant, his name is Tav Begay. His email address is Tav, TAUVE .Begay, BEGAYE at Navajo-NSN.gov. If I'll go ahead and post that on my personal Facebook page later on, so you can have that information. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for giving me this opportunity to be your Navajo Nation Vice President. I do my best every single day to be an advocate for each and every one of our 400,000 plus citizens across the Navajo Nation, across the United States of America, across the world. And just know that I am here for you, and I do my very best again to be here for each and every one of you. And another thing that we had this past week, again, to do with the Miss Navajo Nation competition, was that the judges and a lot of you across social media selected and voted for Miss Photogenic. But we do have a new Miss Navajo Nation, and the Office of the Vice President is the official supervisor to that office. So I look forward to working with our new Miss Navajo Nation. I look forward to planning and working with the organizers for the Miss Navajo Nation pageant for next year. I know it was just a week ago, but it's never too early to start working and planning on that. And I did also attend the Miss Navajo Nation Gala, which was organized by the Miss Navajo Nation Council, and they had various sponsors, which I would like to say right now, thank you to all the sponsors that came together to make this 75th annual Navajo Nation Fair the best that it could possibly be for each of our citizens. We do know that there's a lot of things that need to be upgraded on the fairgrounds, and that is something that we're working on. Our next project that everybody is wanting to work towards is the Northern Navajo Fair, which is the oldest Navajo Nation fair and the most traditional. As everybody knows, they have the Yebache ceremony that happens at that fair. And we are working towards making sure that everybody's safe. Everybody is safe, from our citizens that have to use a wheelchair, to our elders that walk the fairgrounds, to our little guys that walk the fairgrounds also. And then us as parents, as grandparents, looking out for our children and making sure that they're safe, that there's enough lighting, that there's enough public safety that are there. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate working for you, with you, and having that conversation with everybody that comes my way. Don't hesitate to approach me. I am always there for you. I'm always ready to shake your hand and have a quick conversation if I am in a hurry to go somewhere else. And if I do have the time, I will stand there and sit with you and talk with you. So the next person that is going to be coming on is our new Miss Navajo Nation. So enjoy her conversation with you all. Again, if you need to know how to contact me and make an appointment with me, I will put my assistant's email address on my personal Facebook page, but his name is Tav Begay, TAUVE.BEGAYE at Navajo-NSN.gov. Again, thank you so much. And it's so wonderful to speak and talk to everybody. Next week, have a wonderful day. This evening, I will be at Chushkai Community School in Tohatchi. They have their annual princess pageant. So if you're in the area, stop on by and see who the new Miss Chushkai school princess is going to be. And I know there's plenty that's happening across the Navajo Nation. If you do have it, then invite everybody. Let us know when it's happening, where it's happening. And they can showcase their talents and their skills, and we'll see who the next set of royalty will be coming out for the new season of this. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon and have a wonderful day. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Watch out for one another. Listen out for one another. Let's all take care of one another. Have a wonderful day. Hagona.
Yard eisic édó sidanné, sé Amy nás barrís bigé inisié. A donna na sinnigí é bet aithní na slán. Neist idir chopaha é basistín hask anha doha de sé. Cinne ani é de nille. In leid coordinné sé dó ba clapat quat New Mexico a dó tetchis da sa anne de IEC nasha. Shemado sé é Odessa Reeves do Leroy bigé wilye. Shemasane é Lorraine Reeves wilye. Chanella son é Lily Bigay wilye. Shiche do Chanella Hastinian. Leo Reeves Sr. Otto Henry George Bigay Sr. wilye. Adoch Ian is a inigi business igi a bainishka in lay Arizona State University de Kadche na behopich eke. Na kidemil doba on nadin ka ado na kidemil doba on nadin din nishlin. Good afternoon, Navajo Nation. It is very good to see you all virtually. My name is Amy Nazba Rees-Bigay. I come from the communities of Cayente, Arizona, Baclapato, New Mexico, and Howell Mesa, Arizona. Currently, I am a student at Arizona State University, where my concentration is in medical nutrition, where I hope to become a registered dietitian. Let's see. First and foremost, I would love to extend my appreciation to the Office of President and Vice President as they invited me to speak just about my little journey of Miss Navajo Nation so far, and also the efforts of the Miss Navajo Nation pageant. With that, I truly appreciate all of our sponsors, including Madam Speaker Crystalline Curley, our 25th Navajo Nation Council, of course, our Office of President and Vice President, our other sponsors that we were very fortunate to have this past year were Bashes, Navajo Arts and Crafts, Navajo Petroleum and Oil and Gas, also Navajo Transitional Company. So many of our sponsors were very appreciative of making it down to our Navajo Nation Fair. And my duties this far as Miss Navajo Nation, I am very new to the process, but also I am barely getting to invitations as well. So I look forward to meeting each and every one of you and to travel across the Navajo Nation. With that, my doors are always open, and with that, I would just like to say, please be safe on the road, of course, with our traveling conditions. And it was very nice to meet you all virtually.
Karina, where you been so long? Oh, love, Karina, where you been so long? I pray.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Bobby Ann Baldwin with the Navajo Nation Veterans Administration. And with me today, I have one of our astounding Veteran Services Officer, and her name is Miss Sylvia Preston. She works with the Central Agency Veterans Administration. She'll be assisting me in providing this report to our veterans. So, I'm the Executive Director for the Veterans Administration, and I'd like to say thank you for tuning in and being here to hear our report. I'd also like to say welcome home to our Vietnam veterans. Vietnam veterans. First and foremost on our report, we would like to share that we are currently participating in our strategic session, and we have been very helpful in devising the strategic session with the platforms created by the Nygren and Montoya administration. So we've made great progress this week, and we are eager to share that at the beginning of next week. Secondly, we'd also like to share our housing update. Currently, our housing update is consisting of our partnership with the Navajo Housing Authority, with the Southwest Indian Foundation, and with the Sparrow Group. We did have groundbreaking for a veteran home out in Northern Agency last week, and we are also looking forward to another groundbreaking next week for a veteran here in the Fort Defiance Agency area. So we're very thankful that our housing programs is moving forward and that we are getting more veterans their homes that they are in dire need of. So we are addressing the needs of our homeless veterans, and we look forward to assisting more. One of the other ways that we also assist our homeless veterans is by walking them through the home site lease process, as well as applying for the Native American Direct Home Loan Program, as well as other opportunities for housing needs. So those are some of the resources that we have, and our housing specialists are the primary individuals who are responsible for assisting our veterans with these endeavors that they have. One of the upcoming drives that we will be having is the registration drives at each of our districts. So within each agency, we do have our respective districts, and we will be conducting registration drives for the veterans registrations. A veterans registration allows a veteran to participate in the Veterans Trust Fund program, in which funds are available to veterans to apply for hardship, which could be meeting your needs financially for food, energy, which is meeting the financial needs for utility bills, the cost of wood, the cost of coal, also the self-help needs. And self-help encompasses any materials utilized to improve your home. It could be appliances, it could be windows, it could be roofing supplies, things of those sorts. But we welcome you to come in and speak to our Veteran Services Officer or any of our staff. They'll be happy to explain what type of services and what type of benefits you are able to apply for through the Veterans Trust Fund. And Veteran Trust Fund monies will be available at the beginning of October, fiscal year 2024. We also have the planning for the Veterans Talking Circle. We do have these talking circles that we have come up with, and we would like for each of the agency offices to be hosting one of these once a month. This will give an opportunity for each of our veterans to come together and to share some time, to share some of their stories, or even just to have that camaraderie to be there in your communities, in your respective communities. So we invite each of you to our talking circles to be hosted by our agency veterans offices. So I'll give the time over to Ms. Preston, and she'll introduce herself and give you a little bit more information about what exactly our veteran services officers do. Thank you.
Yate, good afternoon. My name is Sylvia Preston. Kia ani nishlon sanjikina bashishin nash ejet hachitni dashachedo toduk oje dashanale. Do veteran service officer nishle for Chinle agency. Though I also do cover Western Agency and Fort Defiance Agency. One of the things that VSOs do, currently we have one in Arizona and then one in New Mexico. So we provide services for VA benefits, federal VA benefits and claims for our veterans. We have been doing this for the past 2 years now since we became accredited. We assist veterans, helping them with their filling out their documentation, submitting their claims for compensation. Although we do assist surviving spouses with their pensions, although this is a good thing that's happening right now, and it's never been like that. The Veterans Administration, we are now able to bring services to the Navajo Nation, those that were only available off reservation. So we are federally recognized, and so our veterans are able to claim sigi yahatat, they're able to receive monthly compensation. We do have the PAC Act that has been happening since last year. So a veterans we were able to increase their disability ratings. We were able to get our veterans some extra income on a monthly basis. Although we do have some veterans who applied for PAC Act that got an increase and were able to get 100% disability rating. So we do have some success there, assisting our veterans with these federal claims and benefits. And then also for those veterans that were saying, SHIPAC, I haven't applied for it, or I haven't heard anything about it, and that the PAC Act may be extended to September 30th, 2023. So make sure that you let your veterans know to call our offices and make sure that they do have a claim going, at least to look into increasing their benefits, or, just to get some information on how you can file a claim for compensation. So although we do also have at each agency offices documents that need to be there for our veterans information, as far as veterans trust funds, as far as VA benefits, as far as veteran housing. So veterans
One last thing we'd like to add is you veterans and your families, you're also welcome to come to our office, sit down, share a cup of coffee with us, and talk to us and let us know how we can better serve you, or some different type of changes you'd like to see at your local offices. So come on in, we welcome you, and we'd like to say thank you. Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you to your families for standing by you during your service, and thank you to the Gold Star Mothers for your undying support.
Good afternoon. I am Chandler Willie, the Division Director for the Navajo Division of Transportation. I'm reporting live from Window Rock, Navajo Nation, where it's a lovely 67 degrees. I would like to extend gratitude to the Navajo Nation President, Dr. Buu Nygren, and Vice President Rochelle Montoya, as well as all the leadership the council delegates, the chapters, the chapter officials, and thank you to this for this good day, great day on Navajo Nation. Get into the roads. The NDOT Roads Department has completed 231 miles of blading this quarter. Millings will be hauled to several roads and throughout different communities, and NDOT workers completed 6 culvert installations, and as well as preparing for winter season and ordering salt and ice slicers for safe passage during extreme weather conditions, and as well as the roads department. They're continuing to work with the Department of Emergency Management for coordination of emergency issues that occur during the winter season and any type of storm event. And as a message on that note, that we could watch out for one another and watch our speeds as we're driving, as well as remind each other to not drive in water if there is water on the road. And as far as highway safety goes, for the month of September, NDOT Highway Safety celebrates National Child Passenger Safety Month and makes sure that their children are riding in car seats. And for more information, please call the Office of Highway Safety at 505-371-8322. And finally, the Navajo Transit the system will shut down on 9/15, September 15th for certification training, as well as September 21st through the 22nd for the NDOT strategic planning meeting. And the overall system will be on hold on those days. And the more information on these changes can be found at the website for that division. And I'll hold this as close as I can for everybody to kind of get more information from our website. And I also want to talk about our strategic vision. We're glad to be going into that for this month, as well as we have the National Transportation Conference coming up during this month as well. And on September, on this Saturday, this coming Saturday, I will be NDOT will be at the Northern Agency Council meeting for the gathering of the chapters, as well as that will be at Upper Fruitland, and we will also be at Coal Mine chapter for the Western Agency. So look forward to seeing you there and having more updates for you. Have a good day.
Yat Eshkeros and everyone that is listening and watching throughout the country. Ya my Palona the Genende Tohache Holieda Gosh. But I saw she was a shin talk on the Senalaki only the Sichay. Without National Division of Natural Resources, Executive Director, she did no issue on this not there. I just want to take this afternoon to thank each and every one of you that got to come and participate and be a part of the 75th Navajo Nation Fair. It was a huge success. It was so exciting to see so many smiling faces, so everybody being happy, reuniting, rekindling relationships with family. It was just exciting to see everybody take part of being at the parade and get to see everybody out there. Those of you that went to the rodeo, that were at the concerts were a big hit. I think we surpassed our expectations of the number of people that would be coming to the concerts. The powwow was really great to see so many people come out and dance and watch the song and dance. Many dancers that were there. The pageant, and congratulations to Ms. Begay, who is now the new reigning Navajo Nation Miss Navajo. And so that was great. Also, we had the 4-H. The kids did very well. Very, very exciting, and to be able to support the youth in their agricultural efforts of producing livestock as well. And just to see them take pride in showing their animals of what they've been able to raise with their hard work, and then have all the buyers come in and be able to purchase those their prized animals and get the funds that they'll be using towards school. The Division of Natural Resources, we hosted the barbecue on Thursday afternoon, and we served over 4,000 people that got to come and have lunch with us during that time. So that was really exciting. And so that's all. That's my message for you today. Is again, thank you. We're looking forward to next year. There will be many changes going forward. So I just wanted to again thank everybody and have a great week. And we'll be catching you again next time. I can't have long.
Beautiful you, don't you know that I love you? Don't you know that I want you? Hey, every day, sweet, beautiful you. Oh, my baby, you're the one I like to share this dance with. To the bitter end. I don't know why you get so mad and jealous sometimes. It took me a lifetime just to find you, babe. Well, I searched this world high and low till I found you, and now you're mine, sweet baby. Oh, can't you see?